in the future.
Talk to me about Michelle Mone. What do you remember about the PPE contract with Michelle Mone when she approached you? How did that conversation go?
Well, during the pandemic, there were lots of people who were approaching us with offers of PPE. I referred all of them to the appropriate civil service channels in order to make sure that the PPE that we were being offered was of sufficient quality and could be sourced in time. It was a procurement process which every offer went through in order to assess.
But she did approach you with your personal email, no?
Well, lots of people approached me.
Personal email?
Yeah, there were lots of people who approached me, whether it was through email, text, or in the precincts of the House of Commons or wherever, to say that they could help us. Because, as you'll remember at the time, not just in the United Kingdom, but across Europe, we needed to source PPE quickly. Anyone who approached me, I said, thank you very much, and made sure that their efforts to help were referred to the appropriate, officially run, independent channel to assess whether or not the PPE that they were offering was value for money.
So what do you remember about the personal email that she sent you?
That she was one of a huge number of people who were approaching the government at the time, who were...
So you don't remember specifically her approaching you?
I remember lots of people approaching me.
Do you remember her specifically approaching you?
I do remember. The thing about Baroness Mone is that, you know, as you know, she's a strong personality. But there were lots and lots of other people who approached me as well. Anyone who approached me, I thanked and then made sure that they went through the appropriate process so that anyone's claim was assessed not by me as an individual, but by an independent process.
OK, but what do you remember about her personal approach to you? What do you remember about that email?
I remember that she was keen to ensure that PPE, which the government needed at that time, was provided.
So you can't remember exactly what she said?
Well, lots of people approached me at the time.
I'm asking about her specifically.
Yeah, I know. And I'm saying that lots of people approached me. So what I can recall is that she said that there was an organisation that she believed would be able to provide PPE for the government. And I said to her, as I said to everyone, thank you very much, that's very kind. We do need PPE, but I'm not the person who can make that decision as to whether or not this contract should be awarded.
OK, but you did forward on that contact and...
Yeah, as I did with lots of people, because
I'm talking
my view...
about her.
Yeah,
specifically about her. How do you feel about the fact that millions of pounds was wasted because of that introduction?
Well, I don't know the detail of what happened once that bid was referred, because it was nothing to do...
Not my question, Minister. My question is, how do you feel about the fact that millions of pounds was subsequently wasted because of an introduction that you were first approached and then made to other members of government?
Wasted in what way?
Well, because apparently it was, quite a lot of it wasn't fit for purpose.
Well, again, I regret the fact that any PPE that was purchased was not fit for purpose, but my recollection is that the overwhelming majority of PPE that we did buy was fit for purpose at that time.
We're talking about this specific case, and it was a £200 million contract. Some suggestions that she made, £19 million personally, you know, that's alleged. I don't have the facts that can confirm that or otherwise, but what we can say is a lot of that PPE was subsequently not fit for purpose, and it was an introduction through you. How do you feel about that in hindsight?
Well, I regret the fact that any PPE that we sourced was not fit for purpose, but the job that I was doing at the time was to make sure that at the time when we were facing a terrible pandemic, that anyone who wanted to help anyone who was making an offer of PPE was referred to the right channel. I would have hoped that you or I, if someone said, I can provide PPE, that we would have said, great, the thing to do is to go to this official government process, to go through this procurement gateway, to have the quality of the contract that you're seeking to secure assessed.
I understand, but I'm asking how sorry you are now that actually all that money was wasted because of an introduction that was made by you.
The first thing I was going to say is that I introduced lots of people, so of course I regret the fact that there was any that was wasted, but what you're trying to imply is that it was my...
I'm just asking how you feel about it. I mean, I would be mortified if it had been me.
Because...
Because it's a lot of money that's been wasted.
Yes, of course it is. And of course, one of the things is that none of us want that money to be wasted, but the problems that we had with PPE at the time meant that we were anxious to secure contracts from everyone. The fact that some contracts meant that some of the material that was procured was not up to standard.
A decision that was made in haste.
Well, everyone was making that decision.
Doesn't mean it's correct.
Everyone was making that decision on the basis of what individual organisations put forward and what the independent process decided. I did not decide to award that contract.
You didn't. You're right.